Hi, I'm Pete Lockett. Welcome to part 3 of my introduction to frame drumming here on iDrum magazine. So far we've looked at the bass tone, the treble tone, and accents. And now we're going to add a new stroke into our repertoire, and that is the slap stroke. Now, with some frame drum positions and some frame drumming techniques, the slap stroke can be done with both hands. I'm just going to be doing it with the right hand for the time being. Now, for those of you that have played congas or bongos or djembe or numerous other percussion instruments, you'll be familiar with the slap stroke. This is very similar, but not quite as aggressive as you might find on congas or bongos. So the slap stroke is achieved by kind of a hitting and dragging type motion. So it's a very staccato sort of sound. It's one of those sounds that one needs to experiment with. We can say actually you hit and you drag slightly, or there's different ways to think about it, but at the end of the day, the best yardstick for really getting it together is just simply sitting yourself down with a frame drum and experimenting to try and achieve the sound. So you have to listen very carefully to the staccato-ness of the sound. We can see how it gets integrated into the sound of the drum. So, once we've spent some time, really working on it, and it might take, a few weeks, even months, just to get the basics of the sound together. Very sharp and staccato. What is important to not do is lift your hand off afterwards and you get that ringing tone. If you're too far into the drum, it's kind of woolly and you get kind of different problems with it. So listen very carefully to what it sounds like, ideally with headphones on, and really try and work on getting that sound exactly. Now, once you do have the sound, we can begin to integrate it into some simple patterns, as we did in the beginning, in the first lesson that we did here on iDrummag. So let's have a 4-beat pattern, 4 16th notes long, and we'll have slap, high, high, high. So when we've performed our slap stroke, of course, we have to quickly ready ourselves to come and play a different stroke, such as the high-pitched sound or the low sound. So this is a good exercise to achieve that just by looking at the right hand. Slap, bass, slap, high, slap, high. So that's the sequence, and that'll kind of get you used to moving the right hand between the different sounds. Now, same thing, but 6 notes long. Slap, high, 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 high. So again, notice that we're still not looking at any accents like we did in the last lesson. We're going to be bringing a few of those in later. So now let's have a slightly longer pattern. It's actually the 8/16 pattern, which we had was bass, high, 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 high. But the second time we'll have the slap instead of the bass, and it will sound like this. So it's important to remember that when you play the slap stroke, the left hand holds the drum firm but does not stiffen up. It's really important not to stiffen up the holding hand, the left hand, or the weaker hand during all of these strokes. So let's look at a shorter version of that. Bass, high, 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 slap, high, high, high. All right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So now we'll move the slap stroke a little bit later in the same pattern. This is example 5. So even at a medium or slow tempo, these rhythms can sound quite funky, even without having any accents on. So let's add 2 slap strokes into the pattern, as in example 6. So now let's move on to example 7, where we've slightly extended the pattern. And actually what we've done is we've put together example 6 followed by example 4. So this is example 7. So now we'll look at example 8, which starts to bring in some different accents into the pattern. finish up with example 9, which involves some more accents and a slightly different arrangement with the slap strokes. So that's it for this time. See you next time, where we're going to elaborate further with our frame drum techniques. Any questions? You can email the team here at iDrum Magazine or else on my website, petelockett.com. See you soon.